Friday, how'd that go?
Good. Yeah, it's I suppose, after the other night it was nice to get the 3 points, and we were in on Tuesday and then back in again today. So obviously Munster Senior Cup final, we're looking forward to it tomorrow, and we thought we wouldn't have a match, and obviously this has been refixed for tomorrow, so we're delighted with that, and I think it's great. It's a great game for both clubs, and the lads are a lot of the lads that when they played the other night are playing tomorrow, so we're all looking forward to that.
So not wholesale changes. How much of a different team can we expect?
Well, I suppose the main thing is that they're all first team players. Any fella that has been on the bench expects to be in the first team to get started, and some of them haven't got a game in a long time. So from that point of view, it's a game where they want to go out and show that they're ready to step in. So from our point of view, we'll certainly make 5-6 changes, but still at the same time, we respect this competition because we've always went out, with the intention. We have a very good history of in this competition, but then we ended up with a period in the last 10 years where we found it difficult to win. But we won last year, and obviously it's the final tomorrow, and we want to win in front of our own supporters. And but all the fellas that are coming in, maybe in years gone by, we mightn't have had the strength and depth. Certainly in the first couple of years we hadn't, but now we feel that the strength and depth. If someone gets injured, the next fella coming in should be equally as good, and that's why even though there will be a good few changes, the team will still be extremely strong.
So what's the squad update today with a couple of lads that are carrying injuries?
Yeah, the main few are the same few that had been out there. Alan Bennett obviously is back in, just came in training this morning, but he won't be involved tomorrow. Stephen Beattie is back in. Gary Buckley is completely recovered from his sickness. But other than that, everyone else, they're all looking lively, and they all want to play tomorrow night. So that's good for us.
How familiar are you with St Mary's in terms of how they're going?
Well, as a club, I'm very familiar with St Mary's because obviously, they're a Northside club from my stint in the league, in the senior league up for years. Obviously, they're a big club. Fantastic facilities, a real proper club all the way through from underage and do things right, and we're well aware that some of the former players like Declan Daly would have been synonymous, and his late dad would have been with St Mary's, and obviously his brother Ken had been manager for a long time up to this season. So we would have done a lot of work in checking them out this week. Obviously I haven't seen them as much as I would have seen them before, but they've changed their team around quite a bit. They have a lot of young players coming through. They were in the under 15 National Cup final there under John Murphy, so they're bringing a lot of their own lads through. They have a lot of youth, a lot of energy, and I suppose for them it's an occasion where they have never been at this stage, and to play in Turner's Cross against Cork City, who are the double champions of Ireland, it's a game where always, when you're an amateur guy, you look forward to these games, and you want to raise your performance. So from our point of view, I always say that we have to be professional about the game, but at the same time, we know that if you don't treat teams with respect, if you don't go out and play to your standard, things can be difficult. So I would expect tomorrow that we won't have any problem with our attitude or anything like that, but at the same time, I expect St Mary's to sit in, be defensively strong, and put up a big challenge to us. So I think overall, it's a fantastic occasion for their club, but at the same time it's the Munster Senior Cup final, and we want to win it.
We see it sometimes, John, we'll say like in the FA Cup, that a Premier League team will have a weaker than usual side out against a lower division team and end up losing. Like, what do you do to make sure that fellas aren't complacent against lower ranked opposition?
Well, I think it's a mindset, Dennis. Unfortunately, maybe players read things in the paper and they assume that things are going to be easy. They assume that they're better than they are, and it's really a mindset. So to answer your question, there's no doubt that these guys have been told exactly what they expect tomorrow, exactly the way the game will be, and they have to go out and do the business. I suppose the plus for us at the moment is that we're 7 games into the league, we're top of the table, and all the lads on the bench want to get into the first team, and they want to show how good they are. So obviously if fellas go tomorrow and they don't play well, or they have a bad attitude, well, you know, let's be realistic about it. They're not going to challenge back in the first team. So, but I don't see that. Everyone is, you know, feels that they should be in the first team, and they want this occasion tomorrow to show what they can do. And but you never know. You know, you're always it's you know, complacency is the biggest cancer in the game. You know, where teams just you know, assume and go into these games and you know, don't put the work in. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, you try to talk about it and hope and guard against it, but you actually don't know until the day. But at the same time, if I was based it on the training session this morning, the lads who are playing tomorrow, you know, had a spring in their step. So from that point of view, I'd expect that you know, things will be okay.
And the last time City retained the cup was 2005. They beat Avondale United, and you were in charge. Like, is that an advantage to you, knowing what it's like being in the other corner, going up against a professional team?
Well, I think, you know, when I was in charge of Avondale and we played Cork City, it was a brilliant final to get to, because, you know, you want to see how your lads, you know, test your lads, and, you know, they understand that, you know, some of them maybe think they're good enough when in reality they're not. But at the same time, it's a day out, you've nothing to lose, you're not expected to win. So St Mary's haven't got a care in the world. It's a beautiful game to have. There'll probably be a big crowd there. So from their point of view, they can just throw caution to the wind, there's no pressure. So, you know, and players in those situations tend to play above themselves. And going back to that final, we did, as I said, Avondale at the time did very well, and City got 2 second half goals at the time. But at the same, you know, overall, City were a much better team and they had much better players, and, you know, so obviously, you know, the same tomorrow night is that, you know, it's a great occasion for those teams like St Mary's coming in, because they have nothing to lose, they're not expected to win. So you can throw caution to the wind, you know, and as I said, from our point of view, you know, we just have to make sure that we aren't complacent and we're ready to go.
Wilton kind of proved that point last year, John, didn't they? They really raised their game. I think the game went to extra time.
Yeah.
And they got a cracking goal.
Yeah.
Which I know you tried to replicate another game afterwards.
No, but it was interesting, you know, because at the same time, you know, it was one of those games we come back from pre-season or from the mid-season break, where we had been off for a week. We came in and it just showed you know, guys were lazy, and to be fair to Wilton on the night, and there's a few ex-City heads playing for them, you know, they did outstanding, and I suppose in the end, obviously our quality and you know, we made a few changes, obviously changed the game, but it just shows you, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, we've seen it ourselves, even in my own career, you know, in Europe. You know, we've drawn with teams like Bayern Munich. How would you draw with teams like that? Only that, you know, you play above yourself and they take you for granted. So that's the brilliant thing about sport. And, you know, you look at Wigan against Man City. That's what we all love for the day when there is an upset, and so I think can happen. So at the same time, but from our point of view, I think, you know, we're working really hard and having a different attitude within the club, which has happened over the last number of years. And we've looked at having much stronger panel, more competition for places. And it would be disappointed if some of the players let themselves down tomorrow.
And a chance for the fans, I suppose, to see people like Rowling, who they haven't seen, or Hanlon, who's been injured. Yeah, Colin Morgan. You know, to be fair, you look at Colin Morgan, you look at Hanlon, you look at Toby, you look at Michael Howard, Peter Cherry. So when you know, you see those guys and you're saying to yourself, well, you know, we haven't seen much of them at the moment. It's unfortunate Danny Kane is away with the Irish under-21s, but at the same time, they're all going to play. So at least our fans will get an opportunity to see them in a final in Turner's Cross and see what they're made of. And I'd expect a good reaction from the boys. You have no home game again now for 3 weeks. It's 3 away games on the bones.
Yeah, it is.
Waterford twice in 1 week, and then.
Well, you see them. You see to play them, I think, you know. So, no, legally, you never know. But yeah, it is. But look, that's just the way it is. But the one thing about tomorrow night being a Friday night game, and we know St Mary's will have a decent following with them, and I think we'll have a big following ourselves. The fact it's Friday night and the fact that the lads are playing, most of them who haven't played this season. So I think from that point of view, there'll probably be a very good attendance. So you know, dealing with the next couple of games away from home, that's it. We just have to deal with that, and but at the moment in the league things are okay. It's still early days, so